Good evening, Shontay.
Hi.
Welcome to CWS as it is.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. You are quite welcome. Shontay, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name is Shontay Noel. I'm 19 years old. I'm a finance student, and I also launched my own business about a year ago. I'm very passionate about craft and volunteering. I love teaching, and I used to have afternoon sessions with some students from my old school.
Oh, I just love that. Um, a year ago. So the name of your business is Khaleesi's, right? Am I pronouncing it correct right now?
Yes, the name is Khaleesi's.
Uh-huh. And what is Khaleesi's about?
Well, we do handmade cards and invitations. Hold on for a second, please.
Sure.
Clem, I'm on an interview. I'm on an interview. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
We do handmade cards and invitations.
Hmm.
We also launched a new section of it. We do bags, we do desserts, we do finger foods.
What got you started in Khaleesi's? What was the trigger that made you decide to start this business?
Pardon?
What was the trigger? What made you decide to start Khaleesi's?
Well, actually, one day I was in Giftland stationery shopping. Hold on for a second, please.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so
Yes.
you were telling me.
Yeah, I was stationery shopping one day, which is an obsession of mine. I love stationery. And I saw some materials and I was like, you know what? Because I wanted to have a graduation get together. And I was like, maybe I should do my own invitations. So I bought the materials and I also had a friend's birthday who was coming up. And that was the first card I made. And it was for her. And I posted it online and people loved it and stuff. And I like continued making cards and stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I can turn this into a business. And people started ordering. And that's how it came about.
So when you first started, what were some of the challenges you came up with?
Well, the time when I started, I was preparing for exams. And Cape is no easy road. So that took a lot out of me. So while I should have been studying, I was there making cards. And it was a tough decision because it's something I loved and it was also relaxing. So finding the time to do that and to study was quite challenging.
So Shante, okay, you have your market, you have your demands. What happens when the demand is great? Are you able to supply that demand? How do you supply that demand? You get help? Go ahead.
Well, now I have much more time on my hands because I'm at university, so I don't have to be there every day. It's not like when I was in high school, I had to go there from Mondays to Fridays. Well, Mondays to Saturdays in my case. And also my business partner, my sister, she's always there to help.
Mhm.
So it's two of us, and we have much more time on our hands, so we're able to get it done.
When, do you remember when you sold your first card?
Pardon?
Do you remember when you made your first sale, whatever it was? Do you remember that?
Yes, it was actually to one of my friends. Yeah, I remember exact. It was she wanted it for I think a family friend,
Mhm.
and she wanted it something pink and girly. So I added a few feathers and stuff to it, and she loved it. So I remember the first card I made. I remember the process getting there. I remember everything.
You know, this is not about your mother, but I have to ask this question because of who she is and what she represents. Miss Sonia Noel. She's an astute businesswoman and is widely known for her humanitarian her humanitarian and philanthropic work. She's also a fashion designer. How much how much influence did she have in you starting this business, and how much influence does she have in what you create, if any at all?
Well, as people usually say, the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Uh-huh.
And I honestly have learned that, that statement is true. So as long as I can remember, from a very tender age, I was always creating something. And I had to have gotten that from somewhere, those genes from somewhere. And it's definitely from her. And seeing her, use her talents, her God-given talents to create stuff, I had no choice but to use mine as well. Because if I know I can do something, why just shut it down? If she did it, I can do it. So I'm doing it.
What was her reaction when she first learned that this is what you guys want to do?
Mommy is always proud of us. Honestly, she sees the best in what we do. So it's like when I showed her the first set of cards that I did, and looking back, like, they were good, but they were not as good as what I'm doing now. But she was crazy about it. She's like, oh my gosh, y'all can make so much money off of that. Like a good parent, she's encouraging.
What is most rewarding about what you do?
Well, I love seeing, like, people's reactions when they see what we've created. Because they give you, like, some information what they want, like what, because if they're buying it for someone, they're going to tell you what this person likes, and we put all of that into the card. So when they see what we've done with paper and ribbon and things they probably never could have conceptualized, the reaction is amazing. It keeps us doing what we do.
So you're a student, you teach, you have all these various activities, but you love entrepreneurship. After being in business for a little bit, how are you convinced that you're cut out for entrepreneurship?
Well, I've been told stories from when I was really young, some of which I probably can't remember, but I've always been selling something. If I got something as a gift, I would sell it. Like, I knew I was cut out for this business world.
Is that so? Is that so?
Yeah.
What so okay, for those people who are scared to sell because they for whatever reason they're embarrassed that people might scoff at their things or not want to buy it and so on and so forth. What are two tips you can give somebody who wants to sell something or wants to be an entrepreneur?
Okay, well, you have to look at what you have. And if you see your thing has some amount of value, and especially if the market is lacking it, people are going to buy it. You just have to convince them that they need it. Like when I was younger, people really don't like to say no to a child. So it was quite easy then, right? It was quite easy to sell stuff back then. And even like in school, I had this game. It wasn't really that much of a big deal, but I used to like not sell the game, but people paid like for a certain amount of time to play the game. Yes, I saw business in everything. It's ridiculous.
Wow. I'm sorry your sister couldn't be here for personal reasons this evening, but is she like this?
But like her, because even though she's into this craft and culinary, with me, but it's like she has a passion for medicine. Like she would always take mom's stationery and stuff and be writing prescriptions to people, and then her and mom would go up the road, but she was doing what she wanted to do because she saw herself doing this one day, so that made her happy at the time.
So you're the business. You're more geared towards the rigors of business, of buying and selling and creating and selling. You like that kind of stuff.
Pardon?
You like that type of stuff, the creating and selling things. You like that.
Definitely. I love creating because when you create something, you create it either in your image or in the image of someone else's. And then there's this unique feel about it because other than something that's mass produced, there's a lot of it, a lot of people might have it. But when you create that handmade, personalized something, only a few of it exist.
What is your deepest fear about doing business in Guyana as a young entrepreneur?
Pardon?
What is your deepest fear about doing business in Guyana as a young entrepreneur?
Well, it all depends on the type of business you're in. Like, Guyanese can be slow to adapt to certain things, but we're growing, we're getting there. And as people become more aware of it, aware of our business, revenue and stuff are going to come in more. And, people are not accustomed to having this type of business because they might go to a pharmacy or a card store and just buying a normal card. But this
Uh-huh.
is something new to them. So, it takes time for them to adapt to such a thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. How can the government or any person, the government, the private sector, or anybody help you to grow your business?
Pardon? I didn't get that.
How can the government or private sector or anybody for that matter help you to grow your business?
Well, a loan is usually the common form of helping any business. And maybe because of, the type of things we're involved in, perhaps if a private sector or a private sector business or a government institution has an event and they need invitations for that, they can contract it out to us. Or like one of my friends was telling me the other day, he works in a government ministry and they usually do this thing where they give happy birthday cards to everyone on their birthday. So things like that, you can, outsource it to us.
Okay, so you have a market then. I mean, you have a customer base.
Sorry.
You have a customer base.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you measure success, Shontay?
People have different conceptions of, perceptions of what success really is. Some people have it in this whole financial basis, but I see it as if you set out to do something, it might not be to make this amount of money. But if you set out to do something and maybe you haven't quite achieved that, but you got close to it, and you're contented with the progress you've made, I think that's success.
Oh.
Or if you fail and you try again, I think you're still successful. The fact that you keep trying or you've gotten up, I think you're successful.
I just love that answer, but I want you to do me a favor. Can you either push the screen out so we can see more of you? Yes, that's it. That's cool. That's cool. You could come in now so we can get the light in your face. I love that answer, by the way. How do you, Shontay, with all that you're doing, you're a student, you're a teacher, how do you balance the demands of business with time for family, friends, and leisure?
Well, I believe in doing what you love. And when you love something, you always find time to do it, no matter how many things you're doing. So it's like school is necessary. And I love school, of course, to an extent sometimes. I love what I do in terms of business. I love my family. I love volunteering. So all of these things I've chosen to do. I've committed to doing. So therefore, I have to find time to do it.
Let me go to the chat room. I'm going to get back to you on that just now. I have to ask you a question on what you just said. Shaliza said, just want to say, Selwyn, thank you so much to give a voice to young Guyanese men and women. You're welcome, Shaliza. And Patrick, such an amazing young woman. Keep going. Mark, I'm excited listening to this young lady. How is she protecting her brand from what I call pirates? Oh, that's a good question, Shontay. How are you protecting your brand? How are you protecting your brand?
How I protected my brand?
Yes. You want to drink some water?
This flu is really getting to me.
You want some time to drink some water?
Yes. How am I protecting my brand?
Yes.
That's the question.
Yes. How are you protecting your brand?
Well, I think protection really comes with being one of a kind. So it's like once people see something of a certain quality, like the quality we've been producing, they'll know it's us.
Would you like to go and get some water?
I'll just drink some medicine. I have it right here.
Okay. Sorry about this.
Yeah, I'm back on track.
Yeah. So
Yes, I was saying yes, because if you see something of a unique nature, if you see something that, you know, really impressed you, for instance, one of our cards, you're going to know that, ooh, this looks like something made by Khaleesi.
But you're in Guyana. I know they are working on copyright laws and so on and so forth. Is there a process that you can go through to protect your stuff? I think that this is what the people are asking in the chat room.
I kind of figured, but I did not want to go down that road because I don't think the copyright laws are really gone through as yet or being enforced as yet. I don't think the process is finished with it. So there's nothing we can do down that line for now, but maybe put some pressure on them to, you know, as young businesses,
Mm-hmm.
like fasten up the process for.
Mm-hmm. When you don't feel like getting up and doing what you're doing, what you need to do for this business, who or what gets you out of that mindset?
I think you should have asked if I ever don't feel like getting up.
Okay. I'll bite. Do you ever not feel like getting up?
I never want to go to bed. I go to bed like 4 in the morning and so because I'm like, an idea comes and I don't care what time it is. I let it go. I just
Really?
and do it. Sleep? I sleep because my body needs it.
Uh-huh. Well, you're young. You have youth on your side. What is one of the most memorable pieces you've made?
Pardon?
What is one of the most memorable pieces you've made?
Ooh, that's kind of hard to say because I connect on a level with like every one of the pieces I've made.
Mm-hmm.
I connect with them like so close that I don't want to sell them. I want to keep them for myself because I look at it and be like, wow, like God really blessed me. Like, wow.
Do you have anything there that you can show us?
Oh, hold on for a second.
Sure.
Okay, so what I have here, these are coasters, drink coasters. They're made out of popsicle stick.
Wow.
Yes, and I spray painted them because the person that ordered them wanted them to be in these colors. I also brought a few cards to show you.
Yes.
This here is for if you're saying congrats on maybe someone who has just gotten married, or this can be used as an invitation as well. So, see,
Wow.
the bridal dress and the tux.
That's really creative.
Yeah.
How much does one of those cost?
The prices vary with the cards because it depends on how much is on a card.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like if a card has more, of course the price is going to be more, but less. And all because some people like the side, like they like the design of the card. Like for instance, this one is a suitcase. It's a farewell card, shaped in the form of a suitcase. And someone saw it and they ordered it, but they wanted it in a different size. So because they wanted like a lot of people to sign on it and so on. So the price, of course, went up because the size of the card that was required was bigger.
Okay. I'm so sorry you're suffering through this flu here, but you're a trooper, and thank you. In the chat room,
I got it from mommy.
your mother gave you the. Oh boy! All right, I'm not gonna go there. In the chat room, Mark said she can copyright it internationally. How do you see Khaleesi's in 5 years? Where do you see it? Khaleesi's, how do you see?
I didn't get you. Sorry.
How do you see Khaleesi's in 5 years? Your business. Where do you see it in 5 years?
Well, I see us as well. Did I tell you the meaning of the name Khaleesi's.
No,
I think I told you prior to this.
Tell us, what does Khaleesi's mean?
Okay, so it's from a TV show named Game of Thrones that both my sister and I love, and it's one of the leading female characters in the show, and the word means queen, and a queen leads. So in 5 years, probably less than 5 years, I see us being one of the leading gift shops, because eventually we're expanding. We're doing more than just cards and invitations like we started. We're diversifying our stuff, so we're gonna be forces to reckon with.
I like that. This confidence you have, what or who you attribute it to? Your confidence.
Well, I think we're all born with confidence, but it just takes the right people and the right situations to bring it out.
Okay.
And
Shontay, stop for a second. Stop for a second. I want you to repeat that. I so want you to repeat that. Let's start with we are all born.
I think we're all born with confidence. But it takes the right people and the right situations to bring it out.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So tell us what is a day like for Shontay and Mariska when you guys are creating? What is that like? How do you come up with some of these ideas? What inspires you?
Sometimes we're like, at a block, because sometimes people like want a lot in the card and you're thinking like, oh, how do I do this? Like, how do I put this, through paper? How do I express this in paper? But as I said, once you're born with talent, these things might not come right away, but they do come in time. And once they come, that's the important part. We just work around that. Because sometimes I don't know what I'm creating until it's been done. Because I just get my materials and start working, and then I get something.
How old are you, Shontay? How old are you?
Pardon?
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. And you're dropping these heavy wisdom on us this afternoon. You're saying, now here's another one. I think when you were born talented, you shouldn't have to worry. The idea eventually comes, so you just wait and it comes. And you know this for sure. It comes.
Yeah, eventually, because sometimes you're running out of time and you're panicking, but wait still, trust God, everything comes through.
At 19 years, I am so hopeful for Guyana. Because I'm telling you, this is the second show of the series, and I'm fascinated with what I've been hearing from you young people. Anyway, let me go to the chat room for a second. So, Shalisa said, business plan time. Dan said, very creative and organized thoughts and strategy. Wishing you the best in your future and get well soon. So, here is Khaleesi's, right?
Thank you very much. Pardon?
Here is Khaleesi's. And you and your sister are partners in this business. How do you guys divide up the work?
Okay, well, both of us have our expertise in certain areas. So it's like, whatever I'm better at, I would more go to first, and whatever she's better at, she would more go to first. But if I have a lot on my plate, then I would just, show her how to do whatever, and she'll help me out. Same thing if it's her.
So what happens when you have creative differences? What happens when you have creative differences?
We just combine them, maybe. We combine them. Yeah.
Do you ever have to call on mom to resolve two different creative directions, or you? No.
Mommy's one side. We invest, and that's like we can ask her for her advice and stuff. And because she doesn't want to be biased towards any one sibling, you know, she says water knives. Maybe you should combine them. That would be her advice.
What advice you have for other young?
Yeah, if you say, oh, Shontay, your idea is better, Mariska, your idea is better, then one of us might think, oh, you're the favorite daughter, I'm the favorite daughter.
I see.
Like, no, you can't do that as a parent.
So, what advice do you have for other young people, your age, older, younger, that want to get into business?
Okay, if you have a hobby or you have something that you love doing, it's there for a purpose. It's not just there to pass time or to, you know, give you relaxation. It's more than that. It's something that you can share with the world, and then you can also benefit from it financially. So let it known, market it, and turn it into business.
What is it about business that really appeals to you?
What is it about business that really appeals to me? I think it's seeing the fascination of people to certain products. Because sometimes you don't think like, you know, anyone can buy this, or you don't see a market for it. But once you put it out there and you see the response, and people actually, you know, lust after, you know, a certain thing, you're like, wow, you know, you don't even know what society needs until you put it out there.
Do you think, Shontay, that there is a possibility of an entrepreneurship movement among young people in Guyana?
Yeah, I'm already seeing it happening. The fact that you're doing a series like this and you have, you know, you don't only have one young entrepreneur for the entire 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock talking. You have like 4 or 5 different people doing this thing. So that says something. That there's already a movement happening, because if you have 4 people doing an interview in about 2 hours, that says something.
Shontay, when I am in search, I'm in search of some very good advice and wisdom, I am definitely going to call you. 19 years of age, and here you are just, you know, enthralling us. What gives you hope for the success of your business?
Pardon?
What gives you hope for the success of Khaleesi's?
Well, the fact that I started and I survived it after a year, I think there's always hope in something. Because if you, let's go from a day. If you survive after a day, that's hope. You go 2 days, that's even more hope. So after a year, there's so much hope out there.
Oh my gosh. If you survive a day, that is hope.
Yeah.
What is the next product that is coming out, Shontay?
Maybe you should follow our Facebook page and you'll see.
Oh, so you're gonna play me like that?
Yes. Yes.
I see. All right. Okay. I will, Shontay. What would you like people to think of when they think of Khaleesi's?
Quality, uniqueness.
You had this rehearsed? You just rattled this off like this? Quality, uniqueness?
Yes, those were the first 2 words that came to mind. I really wanted to make it 3 words, but nothing else was coming to mind at the point.
If you could go back in time to when you first started, what would you like to have tried then? What would you like to try then?
Well, I've always lived on the presumption that everything happens for a reason. So whatever I did then, or whatever I didn't do then, was for that time. So a year has passed. Maybe if I didn't do it then, I'm going to do it now. Maybe I'm going to do it next year. But everything happens in its own time, and everything happens for a reason.
Guys, 19 years of age, young Guyanese entrepreneur. Here she is, live and direct, doing her own business, confident, brave, brilliant, smart, innovative, We have to encourage these young people. Shontay, I mean, thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
having me.
You're welcome. Good evening. Don't leave yet. I am going to try, when we first started, I'm talking to the audience, Shontay, so you could sign off if you want to.
Okay, all right. Bye.
When we first started the program, Rukaya Boya, we were having some problems, some technical problems, so I promised her an extra 10 or 15 minutes. So I am going to try and see if I can reach her. Please stay tuned and let's listen to this other amazing young entrepreneur, Rukaya Boya.